Raise up your son and approach, dwarf.
The order came from the gigantic figure, the voice striking the two dwarves like thunder, squeezing their souls with a pitiless iron hand. They both hauled themselves closer until they were only a few feet away from the black figure towering above them. They tried to make out his form, but his jet-black armor had the disconcerting ability to melt into the darkness of the night. It was as if the darkness was somehow more intense and constant around the creature and his underlings.
I shall not harm your son, Dorin, if you just give him to me.
That order was much harder to obey, but both Dorin and his father had put their trust in him during the War of Liberation 100 years ago. So Dorin took the baby, clambered to his feet, and straightened up to hand him over. Two black ironclad hands received him.
You are now the father of your third son, who will one day be a powerful man. Your son will grow taller than a dwarf. Your son will worship another god than those you worship. Your son will be the most expert of smiths. Your son will be the deadliest of swordmasters. Your son will be the most powerful of sorcerers. Teach him, and he will learn. He will acquire every skill offered him. Remember that.
What are you saying?
Shouted Dorin to the figure in front of him.
What's going to happen to my son? You've killed his mother, damn you! And now you want to decide his future?
In his fury, Dorin whipped out his two axes so fast that his father hardly had time to register it. Dorin was one of the most skilled dwarvish warriors in and around all the Four Kingdoms, and was a feared weapon wielder in the field of battle. The giant threw the boy right into the arms of Vargold to face the enraged dwarf. At lightning speed, Dorin delivered a blow with his right axe to the black figure's left leg, but to his astonishment, it was parried by the other's giant, glistening, black, double-handed sword, and the sparks flew from both weapons. The sword, which was longer than Dorin was tall, came from nowhere and took the little dwarf by surprise. The parry was too much for Dorin, and he lost his grasp on the axe, which was flung out of sight from them all. He was completely taken aback by what had happened. His right hand was numb, and he could not understand his opponent's incredible strength, as his own was as widely renowned as his weapons skills. Suddenly, a blow came from Vargold, who had swiftly put down the boy in the backpack and drawn his own double-headed axe. His blow came whistling through the air. It too aimed at the Colossus's legs, and it too was parried. Vargold managed to keep hold of his axe, however. His dark opponent backed away a step and roared with a loud voice in the howling wind.
This will not go unpunished. What I have said is not from a script written by my hand. Do you think you any match for me, dwarves?
He cried. His voice echoed in their heads. This mighty foe was as horrifyingly savage and sure-handed as the pair had witnessed on the field of battle. They both knew that what they had begun could very well end to their disadvantage.